Buena Park is in the building. Buena Park? What's the deal? Nothing but the homies out there. Nothing but the homies. What's up with the homies?
Who poppin', we poppin', we major.
Alright everybody, thank you for tuning in on the What We Want podcast. Tonight we have a very special guest. If you don't know who he is, his name is Mathew Sifuentes. He's one of those guys that does everything the right way, and even though at times he can be annoying, he has a great story, and this is one of the reasons why we have him on the podcast, because we want you guys to really understand and to truly know the real Mathew Sifuentes story. Welcome, Matt.
What's up, Mark? How you doing?
Doing good. Just getting ready for Thanksgiving. You know that's one of my favorite holidays.
Oh, I know.
So let's get started from the beginning, Matt. Everybody knows that you're a football player. You're more than a football player now. I would say you're a figure in the community that people look to for advice. So let's get down to the very beginning. So what was your childhood like, Matt?
To put it in a word, I guess it's just rough. Single mother, 6 kids. I was the youngest. Born into just, I guess the hard part of the situation or in the world, because, we didn't really, we were bouncing around hotels in the beginning of my young age. Hotels, shelters, food kitchens, you name it. It was a very humbling experience. I guess it's just something that really, and as hard as it is, it's just something that really, I feel was necessary into making me, getting me to where I am today.
Yeah, I mean, you saying single mother, and you have 6 siblings or 5 siblings, you said?
5 siblings.
So 5
6
siblings.
kids total.
So 6 kids in total, 1 mom. You guys are bouncing from, short-term living spaces. What was one thing? I mean, because you weren't the only one going through it. With all your siblings, what was that like between you and your brothers and you and your sisters? Like, what was the? I know you guys probably counted on each other, or you guys really have a good sense of family, because when you guys go through things like that, at those times, those are the only people you really have. So, like, can you talk about that? Talk about especially during those times, your relationship with your siblings and even your mom.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we didn't have much, but it never felt that way, I can tell you that much. I never knew that we didn't have it all. I never felt that way. I always had my siblings, and I always had my family, and we had each other, and that was enough for us. And like I said, I think about it now, and I look back, like, people don't know, like, shelters aren't like, oh, you go stay there all day. Like, no, it's only a place to sleep at night. And I look back at it, and I was like, we spent a lot of time at the park. And I think I never really thought about it until recently, and it's just like, we were living at the park, but to me, I was grateful for, like, what my, siblings and my mom did, because, like, it was never like we were living at the park. We were just going to the park every day and having fun, and they made it, I guess, not as bad as it was. Like, I feel like I didn't realize it when I was younger, because we made,
You guys made the best out of the unfortunate, things that you guys were dealt with, and to hear that you guys try to, be as happy as you can be, and to be, as positive as you can be, is looking at it is very smart, because you guys could have easily been negative, could have easily been sad, and I'm sure you guys had your moments where it was tough. But what was the structure like? So you had your mom, and then you could go ahead, if you want to name your siblings or not.
My older sister Desiree, then my brother Joseph, my brother Gabriel, then my brother Michael, my sister Nicole, and then me, the baby.
Mathew Sifuentes, the baby of the family. So, like, within your siblings, like, was there, not having a father around, especially with your brothers, what was that like, being with your brother? I'm pretty sure you learned a lot from them. You were kind of shaped by them, I would say, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially my brother Joseph and Gabriel. Younger age, my brother Joseph was the man of the, I want to say house, because we didn't have a house, but,
Yeah.
but he was the man, he was the backbone of what we were, and, just kind of the prototypical, man that went out there to, try to get us out and do for his family and provide for us. I mean, he was only, 18, maybe? Maybe younger than 18, so he wasn't a man, but he was more of a man than I hope to be. One day he did everything for us, and he was,
Yeah, having a big brother like that when things aren't going that well to really depend on and for him to be your rock.
Yeah.
I know that you're forever grateful for that relationship that you have with your brother, and for those that do not know, you actually lost your brother a few years later, correct?
Yeah, we finally made it out. The slums, I guess. We finally made it out. A couple years into that, my brother was, unfortunately, he was murdered on his way home to our house. And, just things like that. It's just one of those things where, you make it out, you get to, we got an apartment. We're all, kind of living way better than we were before, and, we're at a steady school, and then something like that happens, it just makes you really, it's another one of those, like...
And I would say, what you just made it out, things are, looking actually real good, and something like this happens. I know you're a man of faith, and I know that you have good values, but at that time, at a young age, what's, going on in your head? What are you, what's going on? Like, what are you thinking? What are you, doing?
Honestly, I was at a loss for answers, and I didn't really know my relationship with, God and everything wasn't nearly where it needed to be. I was a young kid. I was, 10 years old. I think I was 10. And, yeah, so that really pushed me into, like, I was trying to find answers and trying to make sense of it all. It just didn't, it just didn't make sense. It really didn't. And just, for someone, it wasn't like he was a gang member. He, he was over here doing bad stuff. No, he was a good person. And, like, anybody that knew him, they were, immediately, had a reason to smile because that's just what he had. Like, his energy was very just infectious, and it just was fun. The type of person that you want to be around. It just didn't make sense to me that someone that good, that, lived for his family, would be taken away in such a, horrific way. It was just a bad, wrong place, wrong time type of thing. He wasn't, like I said, he wasn't a gang member. It wasn't anything like that. I just think he was mistaken for somebody else. But having said that, I think it really pushed me towards trying to find answers in Christ and trying to make sense of it all and trying to,
Yeah,
like,
that's
what got me through. I'm not gonna lie. I don't see me being here without God. I guess making this pushing me to find a relationship in that and kind of loving it again. My thing is, like, I'm never one to be like, God did it. I don't think God did it. I don't think God's capable of taking my brother away. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's, that all goes into, like, freedom of will and stuff. But, like, I just don't think he did it, but I think,
but
as much as God is real, the devil is real, that stuff. I'm not going to get into all this.
But he's,
but, like, I think
he's there for throughout the whole situation, throughout the years to come of you not having a brother, especially a brother that you depended on. He's been there, for you to, when you needed someone to talk to, for you when you needed, direction. That he's I don't want to say filled that void, but he's, you being able to have a connection with, being so strong in your faith that you can, have the opportunity to maybe fill, maybe not the whole void, but some of the void, and him, pushing you in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, lucky enough, I had, two more older brothers and older sisters. I still had people that, either I depended on or they depended on me too.
And then,
honestly,
that will, lead me into the next part. Like, so what's that like now with your siblings? I know for being a tight-knit family growing up to losing a family member.
I mean, we're still, doing our thing. I guess right now it's kind of just, we're still tight. We're all still tight. Everyone, we still have that relationship. But, everybody still has, right now, everybody has their own families. All of our siblings have kids and their own thing. They're all living separately. But,
your family's just growing
Yeah, for sure. So, it's just, we're still tight, but it's just, we all got our own things going on. Gone most of the year at school, so it's kind of just, but it's never, we do for each other like we always do,
Yeah, I know you and your family and, all your siblings, and you guys are, as, everybody has arguments and everybody has fights within families, but you guys are so close and you guys are all so, different, but the same. And it's funny every time I go around the family, everybody's roasting each other, everybody's laughing, and it's always a good time. I'm gonna take this time to give a shout out to SOK, big bro Mike. We'll be having him on the podcast in a couple weeks as well. SOK, he was kind of this was when I kind of started coming around, and your brother Mike was someone that kind of took us under, took me and our good friend Max under his wings. This is when we met. So now we're going to go into what you're known for. So now, you're 14 to 14 years old. You're getting ready to go to high school. What was your plans for, football? I'm curious to what's going on now? Like, what's the, what's your mindset going into high school, and what do you expect out of yourself?
Honestly, I knew I had some talent, going in. I played for Bonaparte Eagles, because we weren't that good. We won, one game in 2 years. But just, I didn't really realize how, talented I was until I got to high school. But going into high school was just, I don't know, there was a lot more I had to take account than I thought. There was just a bunch of people this school gets you to college. I never really thought about, I knew I was going to go to college. I didn't really have to think about it that soon,
Yeah.
And I was just looking into different schools, and, I had other buddies from junior high going to these private schools, Modern Day, Cervi, or and I'm like, oh, maybe I should, but, I obviously wasn't the top, a kid with exposure. I'm probably, I was maybe 5 foot then, I was maybe 5 foot tall then, and, I wasn't getting.
When he says he was 5 foot, he's not lying.
I grew 4 inches.
But that's something, that the reason why we bring this up, and, it's going to be because, we're talking about Bonaparte football. No. We're talking about a kid who, not only with the help of many other, teammates and great coaches, he was one of, truly, if you talk about the run that high school had, he's one of the first people you will bring up. And there are kids playing in the NFL. There are kids playing Division I football. But when you talk about Bonaparte football, to this day, You know, that to what's the meme, to this day, you know. You hear stories about Mathew Sifuentes, you know, and this is why we're bringing this up. If you want to speak about freshman year, it's a little quick they went through absolute hell as freshmen. I mean, just
yeah. I mean, we were out there before varsity practice started, and we were out there after varsity practice. You know, doing conditioning, doing extra stuff, and we knew. I don't want to say we were working harder than varsity, but our coaches pushed us hard, pretty hard, and we knew like no matter what we did, no matter how hard we gave, they were always going to push us harder, and we always had more stuff after practice. It was never just simple, you know, we're off at 6:36, you know, it was always like, all right, y'all got some extra work, it was always that, you know, we can get better at something, so.
yeah, we had your freshman staff was Coach Goog, Coach D-Rod, right?
Coach D-Rod, Banner, who else is on that staff? I think that's about it.
Just those three names right there. I mean, you speak of that to any of the local kids around, even, you know, now you have kids at private schools that know some of these names. Coach Goog, Coach Banner, and Coach D-Rod are some of the craziest coaches when it comes to their energy.
Yeah.
Just quick shout out to those three coaches. Thank you. Mathew Sifuentes was a freaking. If you know who Troy Polamalu is, you know, picture that, but 5'4" and 150 pounds. So.
Yeah, in high school I was like 140.
Even smaller, you know. But yeah, this kid played in the box, you know, was getting, you know, down and dirty with the O-line and D-line, the game in, game out. That kind of mindset doesn't really, I mean, what did you learn that from? I mean, for being how small you are, and it's not a knock on how small you are, we're just speaking facts. What gave you that mindset? Like, what put that in you that you could, you know, you're not afraid, you know?
I mean, this really goes back to everything I was raised in. I didn't grow up with much, but we did. You know, it never stopped us. It never stopped my family. It never stopped it. It never stopped me. It never really, you know, it wasn't I never looked at it as a, you know, as a disability or I don't know, like a disadvantage. I never really felt that we had less. So with me going into it, it was never, I didn't really think about it. I just knew that what I was capable of, and I knew that I was where, I guess, God needed me, God wanted me to be, and I was right where I needed to be, and just having that, coaches, you know, the coaches, I can say, Coach D-Rod, Coach D-Rod was 5'4" too, and having him in my ear kind of just like...
Hey, Coach D-Rod, Matthew's talking, this is all Matthew talking about you, I ain't saying nothing, so don't come at me saying putting you on blast. This is Matthew putting you on blast right now.
No, he knows. Before every game, he would talk to me. He would talk to me and tell me, like, you know, like, it doesn't matter. It was always, you know, heart over height, and I think that my heart really showed more than my height, and I never played at my stature. I don't feel like I did. I'm thankful for, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that was, I remember that saying, you know, I had my thing was always center locked, you know, and one thing that I would always see you put up, and one thing that, you know, and it's crazy, we talk about hashtags as, you know, hashtag goals or hashtag, you know, whatever. But sometimes, you know, people really get a true meaning to that individual, and that heart over height thing, I think that captures you perfectly. You laid everything out on the field, game in, game out, and from everybody that played against us, you were always respected, and that's something that wasn't unnoticed. We all, as teammates of you, we all saw that. He's doing his thing. Senior year comes around. I mean, I knew we were always counted on as leaders before even our senior year. We always had older kids come to us, and we kind of had a lead from day one, But senior year comes up by, and this is kind of now or never type of thing, What type of leadership skills? I knew with our leaders, our captains, all of our seniors, we were, I could count on everybody to do their job, But there were certain things about some of us, that we just had that nit, for being a leader. What things, moving on from the game, are you able to take from that? Take from those skills that were taught to you and that you picked up, that you used in football,
Yeah, I think my main thing is empathy. I think me being able to relate. I think being able to relate to all my teammates and being able to kind of see everyone. I feel like I take pride in never being that guy. I was a starter. I was one of the top guys on the team, but I've never kind of like, oh, he's a kicker. We don't talk to him. I feel like it's very easy to kind of like have little cliques on the team and not really be involved with all of the team and kind of just talk to the starters or just your defense or whatever. Mm-hmm. I feel like being able to have a relationship with everyone and kind of be respected by everyone, I feel like that was big on me, and I kind of took that personal. It's like, oh my God, I don't know his name, or I don't, I know him, or I kind of took that.
Yeah, no, that's...
Like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, I mean, you can ask anybody. I mean, this kid, Matt, took time out of his day, would go talk to freshmen and make sure that, everything was going well. Do they need help with anything? And for somebody that, maybe didn't really have to do that, he did. And that was, that just ties into, our type of brotherhood that we created in, during those couple years that we were there. From our coaches, Coach Anthony White, just everything. We built so many relationships. Me and Matt will be friends probably forever. Our good friend Max, him and Matt are, one of the things that they would always do is say that they're brothers, and they are. I personally love his type of brotherhood that we built. So can you speak on that a little bit, Matt? Like, what's the, how do you appreciate that brotherhood,
No, shoot, it's everything. I'm still in touch with a lot of people. Zach, Andrew, Ricky, Will, everybody, just seeing everybody succeed and kind of doing their thing and seeing people graduate, seeing people on TV playing on TV. It's a great feeling to know, I'm proud of my brother. I'm proud of, to be a part of his journey and just kind of, and it's never they make it big and they forget. We got Nick Beadham playing on the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
He texted me the other day on my birthday, He took the time to text me on my birthday, and I thought that, it's never a thing where you make it too big, you just forget about it. I feel like we all have that same respect and that same,
Yeah, no, that is true.
Together, and we kind of accomplish a lot, and I feel like it's all a mutual thing. It's great.
Yeah, I feel like, I know that I don't play for the Dolphins, but when, I see Nick do something big, I'm like, hey man, you never seen me and Batman in the same room either, so, but, when I see my, more the short man, but, when I see my, former teammates of mine do something big, we're talking about Nick, when he had that sack against the Jets, I was as excited, I felt as excited as he was, I was, let's go, everything that I would say, that's how we all roll, we all got each other's backs, and, we all stick up for each other, and we all are happy when something good happens. So, let's get into something else I want to talk about. So we have a really great role model we share, Coach Josh Lamelli. He's more than a coach. He's somebody that as well as Coach D Rod. Coach Lamelli kind of took extra time out of his life to really kind of, I wouldn't know how to say the words. He took extra time out of his own life to make sure that we were doing the right things, and he not really awarded us, but he made it known that we were doing the right things, and to this day he'll let us know if we're doing something wrong, or if he has any advice in the situation that we're going through. I can speak for hours of how much I appreciate this guy. I just want to know everything, maybe a story, or maybe just appreciation for him. What do you got to say about Coach Lamelli?
I could go on, like you said, for hours about this man. Yeah, he did a lot for me. I mean, he was my DB coach most of my high school career, but he was always more than that. And when I talk about my relationship with God, I mean, he was a pastor at the time, and it was always nice to kind of have someone there to give guidance and kind of have that encouragement, like, oh, you should come to church, or you should, or just even like having questions about, faith-related stuff. It was always so, convenient, I guess, to have that. He would never, and he'd go out his way to kind of make us feel that, and it was just, and I can tell you one thing is, like, he was there for us, and, like, even, I lost my grandma maybe, I think, 3 years ago, maybe, and he came, and, he came in my family, and he prayed with us, and he was there, and even now I'm going to college and everything, I need something, or, I just need to talk, I just need some advice. He's always, he's always there, and it's just like, I couldn't be more grateful for the coaches that have been in my life. It's just taking their time out, they have their own family, they have their own life, but there's never a hesitation to,
Yeah.
get the advice and kind of help me get through, because stuff they've been through, so, and it's just,
yeah, no, that's 100% true. 100% true. So what's going on now, Matt? I know you just got finished up with your college football days. We similar paths in a way, kind of bounced around a couple places. You went on to actually finish college ball. So, like, what are you feeling like now? Now that the football days are gone, like, what's going on in your life?
I'm gonna be honest. I mean, everybody say I'm gonna miss it. I don't feel that way. I don't. It's as surprising as it is. Like, I'm gonna miss the game. I don't feel like I'm gonna miss playing. I feel like honestly, my college career has been, I don't want to say disappointing, but it wasn't what it was and what I envisioned. I don't regret it. I don't. It's one of those, kind of character building situations where I kind of just have to deal with the cards I've been dealt. And like you said, I bounced around. I mean, technically been to 6 schools. I've been enrolled in 6 schools throughout my college career. And, so that, it's a pretty, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about how bad do you really want to, But being the first person, I knew I had to finish. I knew, because I'm the first person going to college out of my entire family. And first person to graduate in May 9th. But, I mean, now I look at it as, I don't want to say content. I'm not, but, like, I'm happy I finished when I started. I really am. Like, I don't plan on playing anymore. I really don't. I want to focus on my career. And my body would really appreciate it. I mean, you of all people know this game takes a toll on you. And my body, it was hanging on by a thread. These last couple of games of my season, I was just I'm ready to rest and kind of, not feel old, hopefully. But, like telling you right now, I'm still feeling stuff from season. So.
Yeah, no, I totally get that right there. So you're basically about to be done with school. Can you go in and, this is your time to maybe, promote your major, what's that? I know maybe you want to speak about, where you kind of got this interest from and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm a graphic designer. Pretty sure everyone that's listening to this knows. If you don't know, yeah, I'm a designer. I try to be pretty diverse with everything I do. Logos, flyers, posters, clothing, all that. Do it all, pretty much. But, yeah, my interest, I can tell you right now, growing up, I've always been into drawing, coloring, Legos, creating stuff. People would ask me what I wanted to do when I grew up, and I knew I wanted to be an artist. And, I don't know, it sounds kind of cliche, right? And, what kind of money I made makes an artist. And then I get into, I get to 6th grade, and we have a yearbook competition. The cover is, we had to, design a yearbook cover, and just, with, colored pencils and stuff. And then I won by a long shot. You can tell no one took the amount of time that I did to kind of win that competition.
Yeah.
And it was just and that was before I even knew what graphic design was. But I laid out that cover. Pretty successful in my opinion. I thought it was really cool that I won it, and I really took the time, and I redid it multiple times, and it was something that was important to me. And then we get into high school, and I'm still, involved in art, and, smartphones come into play.
Yeah.
And then I start kind of messing around with apps and editing photos and kind of adding different effects and with my sports photos, and then, a couple teammates here and there. Oh, I want one, bro. Could you make me one? And then, before I know it, I was having people, hey, let me get one, bro. Let me get one. And I didn't even, and at that point, I was just this might be fun to do. But I didn't really know if it was a profession. I just wasn't. And then I get to senior year, and I get enrolled for a TA. I just had some free classes, so I was being a teacher's assistant. And then I get into this class, and I'm looking, and they're talking about designing on computers and Photoshop, and Illustrator, all the programs that they need, and they're designing and stuff. And and I asked the teacher, I was like, what is this class? And she's like, oh, this is a digital design class. And I went through high school not knowing we had a digital design class the entire time I was there. And I asked her, can I just be enrolled in your class? And it was nothing but freshmen in that class.
Yeah.
She's like, do you really want to? And I was like, yes, this is what I want to do in college. This is what I want to do for a living. She's like, really? And I was like, yeah. So I went, talked to the counselors, and got switched into a class, and I excelled in that class, and I would stay in on lunches and was kind of just working on it, and just all my free time I could just be on the computer, just trying to master the programs. I would do it, and then I was like, I knew exactly this is what I want to do, and then before I know it, I had people asking me hey, I see you doing computer stuff, would you like to? And I couldn't really do it on my own. I didn't have a laptop, so the teacher was nice enough to give me an old laptop that her daughter wasn't using before I left the college. And shout out to her. And then so I used it, and it was very, it was great. I couldn't be more thankful for that. Little things like that. And then I get to college and start taking design courses, and
The rest is history, right?
the rest is history, and it's just I'm happy for how far I've came as a designer, and I'm excited to see what
comes
she
next.
does.
Yeah, we'll leave, Matt's info on the post below and everything like that. If you need any work, Matt's the guy to go to. Does everything, he's very diverse, like you said. So we'll leave his contact info, get at him if you need anything. Since we're talking on the What We Want podcast, we got to ask, it's a tradition, is the 3 W's. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. They're all, start with the letter W. So the first question, what we got is, what is something that you want people to know about you?
That, you're not the product of your circumstances. You're the product of your decision, and I'm living proof. Where I started at and where I'm at now is, I'm not supposed to be where I'm at. If you judge by where I started, if you judge by where I came from. So, it's up to you. You decide what you want in life.
Yeah. Next question. I know we kind of spoke about it earlier, but who is your biggest role model?
Shoot. I don't have just one, but if I had to choose 2, I'm choosing... No, I'll choose 3. I'll take my brother Gabriel, Coach D-Rod, and Coach O'Malley.
Okay. All great, And I know you have more than those 3, so...
Yeah.
Last question we got for you is, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years, I see myself, honestly, living comfortably in a house, hopefully with a couple kids running around, and just, probably coaching. I see myself getting into coaching and working. I don't know what I'm going to be designing for, but I know it's going to be somewhere big and somewhere I could, live comfortably off.
Well, thank you, Matt. This has been a great time talking to you. I know our relationships, what we got, but for anybody that ever needs anything, someone to talk to, someone that, maybe you want to follow to, see some positive things, follow our boy Matt. He has a lot going on. So, once again, I just want to thank you, Matt, for being one of the guests on the What We Want podcast, and just, continue to be you. You're always going to be a brother to me, and I am one of your biggest fans, so I'm excited to see what comes next, and, just thank you for being a guest, man.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah. So, last thing, anything you want to promote, any shout outs you want to give a shout out to, this is your time to do that. So, the microphone is yours, Matt.
I don't really got nothing. If you need some work, follow me, Mathew Sifuentes. Be a good person. That's all I got.
All right, then. Have a good one then, Matt.
All right, bro. Catch you later.
All right, late.
Bueno Park is in the building. Bueno Park? What's the deal? Nothing but the homies out there. Nothing but the homies. What's up with the homies?
Who poppin'? We poppin'.